cut it off because.
Okay, I think it's started or so. All right. Yeah. No, you're the one with work.
No,
So we can do
it's
one.
It's not about me. At that point, I'm just like I don't want you to run into that wall of playing your least favorite Halo level
I mean,
of like
I
all
get
time.
through it. I have fun when you're kind of like hanging out with somebody in
Yeah.
the conversations. So this is another one for me that's like, do we play first of all another? You gotta love this.
Regret.
Also, some really good lines from Johnson.
Yeah.
Any idea what it means?
Dear humanity, we regret alien bastards. We regret coming to Earth. And we most definitely regret the Corps just blew up our ragged-ass Hoorah!
Regret is Sergeant. The name
It's so easy to run through half of this level, do we? Or do we play
He's
through
on that carrier and he's calling.
Because all you have to
for
do,
help.
is so angry. I love it. But because you can jump right out at the start of the mission where the skull is, and then you can just run the rooftops for the whole level.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or you can play
We're
through the
going in.
streets.
I say, you know what? This is Halo 2. Just enjoy it.
Get
Yeah,
aboard
I
that
kinda like
carrier.
it.
Secure the Prophet of Regret. This is the only place on Earth the Covenant decided to land. That Prophet is going to tell us why.
Fucking yes.
I've seen this like a dozen times. You could tell there was so much love that went.
Yeah.
Like, they don't just look good.
These are
Like, there's
they're
so
gonna-
much
yeah.
detail. The people that made this for Halo,
Yes.
they were like,
Yes.
listen, we're not shipping this out until every little deal. Like, we don't care if it's a frame, like a fraction of a frame that someone sees
Wake
this.
up.
Make sure
Take it off, Marines!
that it's perfect.
Clear the crash site. Go, go, go!
There was more love put into
That
those
person just ran
cutscenes than
into
the
the
actual
wall.
HD remake of this.
Which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder what because that was like an order placed, like you would order, not quite like you'd order a pizza, but they made a contract, they probably did a demo reel, and then they're like, alright, well you have the original content, you know what the cutscenes are, they probably gave them all the files that they had. What do you think they were like when they're like, alright, it's time to pick up the order and put it into the games, you have the cutscenes and they picked up the files, like, I can just imagine, they were like, oh shit, we should have upped our game on the remake. Like, this is
When you've got an entire fucking group of people who are like, this is what we did for the cutscenes, we're sorry it was on short notice, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
the heart that
Can you make it the whole game and just sell it as a movie? Because fuck the game then.
what I think is most admirable about what they've done with the HD remakes, though, is that nothing is added. It's all texture-based updates and audio and all that as well too. But like this little box here, it had to be in the original. Like same thing with the ammo and this whatever that is. Like so, with that you're given limitations. Like they can add foliage and things like that. They don't have like contextual gravity in the game, but other than that, you can't add stuff. Whereas the cutscenes you could, like there's stuff littered on that highway that weren't like those highways are barren in the cutscenes in the first game, which really kind of like take away from it. So it's like quiet. It's almost like
So much work. I forgot, did this sell for a full $60 when it came out?
50. Yeah, they used to be 50.
50?
Yeah, before Xbox One. Or 360, I mean. Oh wait, you mean Master Chief Collection?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 60. Halo 2 was 50.
Oh, okay. Yeah, God. The good old days. Not saying that I'm like, that it's unjustified that...
Yeah, I think
that
it's $10
stuff, like,
increase now.
$10 increase makes sense now, but like when it first happened, and I was younger and I couldn't afford that, I was like, this is bullshit.
It's frustrating the games that jump on that, like as like an excuse, but they don't do a lot. Because there's so many budget titles now.
Yeah.
That it's like, come on, your development cycle is no more expensive than it would have been on any
Yeah,
other console.
yes.
Like, you made a shit game and you're just throwing it on the shelf for whatever you can charge.
Right.
Some of them acknowledge that and they charge $30 or $40, but some of them try to like, come out at full retail and it's like, how the hell?
Yeah, you've got the difference of like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 came out. That's
that
a full
game-
$60 game
I haven't played it. I've only watched videos of it.
as a full
And
$60 game.
That game, you know what? Like, it brings up a really interesting conversation because where Xbox One and PlayStation 4 have gone graphically and with their processors and everything, like they've given people the ability to make some insane games that require millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to develop. Now, does that mean that every video game that releases needs to do that? No, I don't think that it does, because I think if you have a good idea for a video game, you shouldn't be limited to that kind of AAA budget just to release it on a console like that. So I don't fault Tony Hawk for not being a game like that.
Yeah, I fault it for charging
So you
$60 for a broken game.
Right, you're gonna put that side to side with any other, Metal Gear Solid 5, which also is not finished. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, that was the first thing that popped in my head. Bad example, but still, I mean, that game is worth $60. Tell me you got your.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
That game was worth hundreds of dollars, even in its kind of unfinished. I mean, there was so much content in that, but it might not have been finished, but that was because they were way over, trying to deliver on that. But yeah, I think that the mold of the $60 video game has to really break. I think that they need to. I hate to say that because I think people would start floating into the $70 or $80 range.
You're right,
but it might be called. I mean, Michael Pachter used to do something on game trailers. Did you watch him at all? Kind of had like the whole business side. He's an investment analyst and he specializes in video games.
Oh, are you talking about Bossman?
No,
the next Bossman?
No. But wow, that hunter flew up into.
Second squad, this is Cortana.
That.
What's your status?
Bye.
There he is.
We're operational, ma'am. Barely. Our pilots didn't
Well, look,
make
at least the concrete's still wet.
Find a hole. Stay
They
put.
really are sticking to this. Like, look, the worms.
Yeah, it looks awesome versus like, yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't tell back then.
So, he, you should say this an awful lot too. I mean, what is your, like, how do you determine the value of a game like that? Because if you take something like Fallout 3, for instance, better example for me because it's more relevant, Persona 4. I bought Persona 4 Golden for $30, $40 on Vita. I played that game for 130 hours. Okay?
Yeah, you got your money out of it.
And so if you were to divide that, my $40 investment over to how many cents per hour was I paying for entertainment? And now I understand Call of Duty. Same thing could be said both ways for Call of Duty. Some people get Call of Duty and they play that game for weeks, like a real time,
Some people like
Or
me
they
only
just
go
play
through the
single player.
storyline.
That's exactly all I play it for. So I played that game for 6 hours. Whatever it takes to get through the story and then that's it. Maybe a little bit on my own. So how do you justify a game that gave you 130 hours of gameplay out of, side by side versus a game that is 6 or something?
Yeah.
Is it in the quality of everything else? I mean, there's really no easy way to make that argument. But you could make the argument, though, that Fallout 3 or Persona 4 have a hell of a right being more expensive because you're getting so much more out of it, just simply from the playtime.
I think that argument is a little too easy.
I mean,
because those games clearly they could be worth that much. Where like you got games like Grand Theft Auto.
That as well, though.
Grand Theft Auto 5 has such a large world. They spend so much money on making that game.
That's the other thing.
I will play that years from now and still enjoy it.
So another $60 game. So it's not so much like my argument is to increase the cost of games. Obviously, no one's hoping for that. But for the games that just try to our game is $60 because that's how much games cost. It's like no, that their game is $60 because it cost $130 million to make. Yeah. Your game costs $15 million to make, and it doesn't even run in 720. Like, I'm not saying that you had to make a game run in full 1080 60 frames, but sure as shit, don't try to tell me that it's worth the same thing as something else, Like,
yeah. Good timing, Chief. No, absolutely, I agree. I mean, it's all about the quality of your game. if you have a game like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 where it's not even...
You have a $20 game.
Sure, it looks okay, and it doesn't even look okay.
It doesn't.
But for it to play like crap and be actually literally broken...
So assuming that the game wasn't broken, it played at least as well as the old Tony Hawks did, but it just looked as it currently looks, and the levels were as barren as they are,
Yeah.
and as limited of a selection of them as there are. If that game came out with $20, I mean, you know, it would just be what it is, and that would be the end of it. You know, it's $20. I just shot between your legs.
That's... dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I think that should be an option, you know. I mean, I'm sure it is an option. They just no one ever wants to do that because.
No, they took that option out, so I gotta ride in the fucking gun. Oh, Jesus!
He sort of did it to himself. I mean, this does sort of bridge the barrier of, you know, truck driving. But,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, close. Fuck your tower! Oh my god, I remember back in
that guy has no gun. Okay.
back in the days of Halo 2, we used to have a game mode over at the farm in Bethany. Because that's where I played all my Halos. We had a game type called Tower of Power. And it was on this one specific map on multiplayer. And you just had, on this giant tower, it was the one with the satellite in the middle of the map.
Great.
In Halo 2.
Oh, and Ascension.
Yeah. And then you remember that giant tower?
Yeah.
Well, there was just a 50 cal auto turret on the top of it,
And
and it did like 3 times as much damage. So what would happen is it was just a one-shot kill, but if you got up to the tower, you could fight for the turret. And it was like the first to, like, you know.
I loved all the game modes before there were like really ways to edit them that much that people just sort of like agreed to play.
Halo 3 did something that not a lot of games back then did. Even on the Xbox 360, like, hey guys, you like multiplayer? Yeah. Would you like it? That looks cool. Yeah, flying right over the car.
We've had some cool moments in the last couple games.
Yeah. You like multiplayer? Yeah. You like multiplayer maps? Yeah. How would you like to be able to just make your own?
Yeah, the Forge
was the coolest idea.
And it's I wish I played around with it on.
Gave you so many more hours of gameplay.
I just at this point I'd rather leave it to people that want to dedicate their life to doing that. I'll just play this stuff that they make. But it is so cool to mess around with. I just think it's not really. I think it's alright. We're gonna go right into stuff. Stay on the Bam! Really well off. Isn't a Warthog that blown through that floor? Maybe that's not.
No, that already happened. That was that car that, like,
almost.
Yeah, almost took us out.
Surprised I'm still going. I got like 3 hours sleep last night.
Maybe your body has just gotten to that point.
I think it has. When it comes to Halo, it's somehow just you just autopilot.
Fucking mobile barista.
Making some coffee for
Yeah. Seems like a fucking. I don't know why I just think about fucking coffee when I look at these things. I think they're fucking roasting up some coffee.
Uh-oh, we're on fire. Good thing it's that kind of fire.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
The next minute.
Oh, I forgot who we're hanging out with.
Yeah, buddy.
Do you know who?
Right,
do you know who David Cross is? The actor.
Not sure.
Did you ever see the show Arrested Development?
All right. Thanks for watching. Come back for the next episode.
Yes, I have. Catch you later.